Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Prince Automation Destination, said Prince. I hope that you are doing well. So as part of our API automation series using REST Assured, today we are going to discuss about the different components of REST API request and response. And in our last lecture, we discussed about what is REST API, what are the key characteristics of REST API, and what is the meaning of REST, which is representational state transfer. In case you are not aware on these terms, I requested to please check out my previous video, which I'll be sharing in 𝐼-icon. Now let us get started with today's discussion. So what is API request? So as we already discussed the concept of what is client and what is server, right? So client is an entity which want to utilize the resources of server, and we need one intermediary, meaning the client need one intermediary, which is API, in order for client to talk to server, right? So now what is API request? So as we know that client is responsible for sending the request. So the request that client is going to send is known as API request. Now what is the API request? So API request will differ depending on the different operations that we want to perform on resource. So let us say again, take the same example. We have server IRCTC, and let us say we have client PhonePe, and from PhonePe we want to book a ticket on IRCTC server, a train ticket we want to book, right? So in this case, for example, we may want to book a ticket, we may again want to delete that ticket, or we may want to update the ticket, right? Or we may want to get the current status of the ticket. So we are going to perform different operations on this particular resource. So depending on the operation that we are going to perform, the API request will differ. Now let us try to understand different components of API request. So first and foremost important thing is endpoint. So for every API request, meaning every API request will point to one API endpoint. And what is this API endpoint? This API endpoint is nothing but this is a dedicated URL that provide access to a specific resource. So for example, this is one endpoint on this particular website, which is providing access to booking resource on this particular server, right? Now method, right? Because we are going to perform different operations on this resource. Let us say we want to create a ticket, we want to get the ticket, we want to update the ticket, or we want to delete the ticket, or we may want to partially update the ticket. So we are going to provide different operations. So the operation is provided in the form of method, right? So along with the request, sometimes we are supposed to send the parameters, right? So what are these parameters? Parameters are variables that are passed to an API endpoint to provide specific instructions for API to process. Now let us say after creating a ticket, we want to, let us say we have created many bookings, right? But we want to get the ticket for a specific date. So we are going to use a get operation, which is to fetch the details. And after that, we are going to use question mark, which indicates a query parameter. And then we provide check-in and equal to 01-01-2024, 5 I mean, right? So we want to fetch the booking for this particular day, right? Similarly, path param. So path param will come into the picture. So after creating a booking, right? So we will have one booking ID which will be generated by the server. So if we want to specify that resource, because after booking the ticket, we want to perform operations like delete the ticket, delete the booking, I mean, or we want to update the booking. So we are going to simply add booking ID at the last. So this will become a new endpoint, and this particular booking ID that we are adding at the end will become a path param, right? Now we may need to send body parameters as well, because when we are going to create a booking, we need to send body as well. So body is nothing but a payload or the additional information that we need to send while we are going to book a ticket, meaning we need name of traveler or name of the user, or we may need additional information like date of journey, right? So those details we are going to provide as part of body parameter. Now we have a concept of request header as well. So along with request, we are going to send headers as well. What are these headers? So API request headers are key value pair. So we provide headers in the form of key value, meaning there would be one key and there would be respective value, which provide additional information about request. For example, when we are trying to create a booking, so we are going to send the data, meaning we will be sending username, we are going to send date of journey, right? So that would be sent in some format, right? So what is that content type, right? Mostly it is going to be JSON. So the key will become content type, and this and the value will become application JSON. So this is the format that we use. Then we may need to send some authorization details as well. Authorization is authentication details, right? Because when we are trying to access a resource, we need to authenticate ourselves. So we may need to send our username, password, or we may need basic authentication, I mean, which is username, password, and in some cases we may need O2, or we may need API key, right? So these things we are going to pass in authorization header, right? Then in some of the request, we are going to send the request as well, request body, I mean, right? So for example, when we want to create a ticket or create a booking, at that time we need body. When, so that is a post operation, right? When we want to update the booking, we are going to use put operation, and we would need a body again. When we want to partially update the booking, then we are again going to use some body, right? So these are the operations where we would need request body. So these are the different components of REST API request. Now let us understand it in details. So this is the sample API request that we just considered, right? So this is available on this particular site, and the purpose of this particular endpoint is to create the booking, right? So the operation that we are going to use is post method. We will soon discuss about the different HTTP methods, so don't worry about it. So post, for now, just consider that is used to create a resource. So resource here is booking. So we are going to create a booking, and here we don't have any query parameters, because query parameter will come into the picture when we are going to, let us say, fetch the details. So after booking a ticket, we want to get the booking for a particular detail or for particular user. So we are going to simply provide question mark, and then we are going to provide the parameter and its respective value, right? And path param will come into the picture after creating a booking. Like, let us say we want to update that booking, or we want to perform some other operations. So at that time, simply by providing one more slash, and we can provide booking ID, so that will become a path param, right? And here, as we are going to create a booking, so the headers is going to be content type, which is application JSON. We haven't discussed about authorization here, but it would need some authorization as well if application has specified, right? So another header will go, that is authorization, and we may be passing some authorization token, right? And this is request body. So how this request body we are sending, so this is finalized in contract itself. So whenever we have like the product owners or the initial discussions would have happened, right? At that time, this contract has been finalized, that this is going to be the first name, and this is how the JSON body will look like, and this is how the server will accept your request, right? So this is how we are going to send request body. So we are sending first name, last name, total price, deposit paid, and booking dates, right? And additional details like we need breakfast as well. So this is how a sample REST API endpoint look like. Now let us understand what is API response and its component. So we just discussed that client is responsible for sending the request. So whenever the client will be sending the request, in return server will respond, and it will send the API response that we can use for the validation purpose, and is going to be helpful for API testing, right? So now server is responsible for serving the request, and will send back the response to the client in the formatted form. This formatted form would be in the form of JSON or XML. In most of the cases, we are going to use JSON because this is lightweight as compared to XML. Now these are the different components that we will receive as part of REST API response. First thing is status code. So the first and foremost important thing is status code in any response, right? So this becomes an entry point for the request that we have made to the server, right? So whenever we are hitting the request, so we will get the response that will include status code. So API status codes are HTTP status codes. This we will be discussing soon, because this is one of the important question as well, right? Status codes that are written by an API to indicate the status of the client request. So it indicate whether the request has been fulfilled by the server or not. So we will get different response. So we have 2x series, we have 3x series, 4x series, right? So for example, 200 for okay, 201 created, meaning when we are trying to create a resource, so we will get 201, right? 403 is forbidden when we don't have access to a particular resource. 401 authorization issue, like we are providing invalid credentials or the token would have expired, right? So these are going to be the different status codes, right? Then we will get the response headers as well, right? Similar to request headers, we will get the response headers as well. So HTTP response headers are again key value pair. These are very similar to request headers, except they provide additional information about the server response. In the request header, we had the information of additional information of request, but in this case we will have additional information about response, right? So for example, cache control, set cookie, how we want to control the cache, right? So for how long we are going to maintain the session. So this sort of information we will get in the response headers, right? So this is going to be helpful in many ways, right? Then we will get body as well. This is again the main component, because this is where we will be getting the details, right? So for example, when we are trying to create a booking, so we will get like for whom the ticket has been booked, so we will get some details like this is the user details, this is the check-in date, right? So we will get it in the form of JSON, and then client will use it to render it in UI, right? So the response body contains the data or content that is written by the API server in response to the client request. It can be in the form of JSON or XML, but generally it is going to be in JSON, right? So this is how the sample API response will look like. So we have, for example, created the ticket, right? And we are getting this particular response. So you will notice 200, right? Because this is how it has been created. This particular API has been created because this is sample API, but for create we generally get 201, right? So this is how we get it. So this is booking ID, right? And these are the booking details. So we have made a booking for gym, first name, last name Brown, total price is 111, and deposit paid is true, meaning we have made the payment, and these are the booking dates, right? And this is the additional needs that we need breakfast. So this is how it is going to send the response back to the client, and client is going to consume this particular response to render it onto the UI. So this is how the REST request API, API request and API response look like. So this is what I wanted to cover as part of current lecture. Thank you for watching, and in our next lecture we will try to understand different HTTP methods. Thank you for watching, guys. I would request you to please like, share and subscribe. Thank you once again.